Welcome to episode 50. We have made it to the half a century mark, and I'm kind of glad to say that we have a special guest who's going to be joining us here in just a few minutes to announce our breaking news. But hope you guys are doing well for the Memorial Weekend. We're going a little late on the live on the 5:30, as we wanted to make sure that for those of you who are watching the replay, you know what's coming here October 29th. So I do want to make a formal announcement that after many conversations, we have gotten the chance to add a new category to the Storm Classic, which will be coming up at Moody Gardens Convention Center, non-sanctioned show, which means any competitor from any organization, they can compete. And this also allows for us to get creative, being non-sanctioned, as by popular demand, I'm going to give you a little bit of history as far as why we ended up bringing this category to light and what we're doing to work around it to make sure that we're highlighting more of the family-friendly atmosphere. So, with that being said, what you will see is Everett Joe Levette will be joining us here very shortly. He is just getting settled in, and you'll notice that he is the owner of the Takeover Gym down in Galveston, Texas. And if you look, you'll see we both have YouTube pages. He has the Takeover Gym on YouTube. Some of you are watching us on YouTube on the replay on the Friday Fitcast. So if you're watching us on Facebook right now, you can subscribe to the YouTube Friday Fitcast, and that will allow you to either watch or listen on the replay a little bit easier, as you can fast forward through and not have to search through all of the Facebook posts on my personal page. You will also see this broadcast on the Friday Fitcast page on Facebook, as well as the Stormtrooper Productions. We will not be on Instagram on this. We will also be redistributing on Spotify, on Apple Music, as well as Fireside Chat. And we're looking at a few more social audio platforms like Twitter Spaces to be able to branch into those areas, because we do have an audience there that we're moving directly over to YouTube as well as Facebook. So I will tell you, for those of you who do know Everett, he has been a big part of not only the Storm Classic, but really just bodybuilding overall. He's gotten a chance to not only compete himself, he has also had the stage at the Storm Classic with his daughter. This was 2 years ago. So we've talked for 2 straight years specifically about this. And we finally came to the conclusion this week that we thought it would be a really great ad. He wasn't the only one that was asking for this, and that's the reason why it came to light. So I before we have him join, I do want to give just a couple of quick updates, as I know that, I've been hearing a lot of great things. And I heard, like, all of a sudden, this little pocket of competitors that I didn't even know are starting to prep for the show, which were essentially 5 weeks out in 2 days. So as you know, May 29th will mark June 29th, July 29th, August, September, and October. And we will be game time ready in Galveston. Can't wait. This is probably the show that I have been most excited about in the last 4 years. I just have a different feeling about it. We have really gotten a different response in the fact that a lot of different people that we never even knew of that were watching started reaching out, wanting more information, new sponsorships coming on board, new ideas and awards to award to winners and competitors, creating new categories, and actually finding people who really are wanting to be in position to be growing with us. As I know that a lot of these non-sanctioned shows, they seem to be coming up more and more. And as you look, I think that the organizations that are out there are currently doing a great job with what they're doing. And we wanted just to do something a little bit different, to where we could provide, for example, prize money. We want to be able to give back to amateurs and competitors. And there are organizations who do that, some under different rules. We found a new way to be able to do that. And we want to be able to reward people. Also, we want to spoil the athletes, because I know in these times, when I wanted to compete, I wanted to give it my best. And we are finding that people, this is a great outlet for them to be able to give them either a checked box at the end of October, or it might be a warm up for a November or December show. Those are the best things about where we're positioned, especially in Galveston. So, number one, registration. Registration keeps coming in. And I did see some new folks register these last 2 weeks. And I am very excited about our guest next week. I will give you a little bit more insight as you'll start to see posting on Instagram for that, being able to see them and talk about his show. This is a promoter who I've known now for many years, and he is also a non-sanctioned promoter, and he is going to be holding an incredible show at the beginning of October. And so we have gotten the chance to chat back and forth, and that is something that we are happy to support him with. So if you are looking maybe for an early October show and you want something very similar to the format that we have created, that is going to be available for you. We're going to give you all the information to be able to contact him directly, have access to his website, his registration process, tickets. I know that he will have Strongman as well as I think USPA. So a lot of different events and bolt-on events to make it a fit expo and something that's really worthwhile and worth looking into. Just ask you to follow a couple of things. Number one, follow the Takeover Gym on YouTube, follow the Friday Fitcast on YouTube, as well as on the Storm Classic site and also on Facebook. So as we look through, we have a couple of Instagrams, of course. Everett Jolivet is Everett's Instagram, and you will also find my Instagram on Matt Storm Official, as well as Stormtrooper Productions. How many of them do we have? Friday Fitcast, which is what we're going to be more or less promoting on who is going to be on the shows from here on out as we move into episode 51 next week. And of course, the Storm Classic show, which is going to give you a lot of different things. Now, we're going to be doing a little bit of a tour. So you might see some apparel, some Storm Classic shirts, some hats, all kinds of goodness that is going to be floating around. You'll be able to see that pop up. And we have a new batch of jackets coming. That will be here next week and the week after, as we have 8 new jackets coming in. So if you do want dibs on that, they have already been posted, and they're the navy blue. Some are like the bomber jackets and the unisex, and then the others, they're made out of a very interesting material. It's recycled material. They're very vintage, very high quality, and that's something that I actually like wearing around in air-conditioned places, especially when the heat rises. The buildings seem to get colder, and as we're indoors sometimes during the summer, we definitely need long sleeves. I'll just give you a little preview of that. So as we go through, very curious to hear your thoughts, your comments. We are looking into, and I will ask, I did have a couple of messages that said, hey, I have somebody for the ladies who might be able to make a custom necklace for the winners. Still interested to hear your feedback about that, as I know that that was kind of a very popular thing that we got very good feedback on. Very curious to hear your thoughts on that. Our Niels Anderson sculpture trophies are getting ordered this week. We are doing the walnut bases this year to make them even that much taller. They will be 8 inches taller on a 22-inch figurine. So if you add 8 plus 22, you're looking at almost a 3-foot tall trophy. That's kind of big. I also looking at making some custom awards for the Masters divisions. So we had 3 more Masters register just in the last 3 weeks, and they were curious as far as what are we going to do? We have a 35, a 40, a 45, a 50, a 55, a 60. We even have all the way up to 65 and 70. We thought about possibly doing an overall for Masters and giving a nice custom award for that. So would love to hear your feedback about that as we go into that as well. As far as hotel, I will tell you we only have 3 more rooms left on our reserved block for the locked-in price that's there. So for those of you wanting to lock in your room rates and get it guaranteed before we open up the next block, if they have that block available, a lot of the time, since we're out of restriction, what happens is if they book up those convention center spaces or the ballroom spaces and the rooms sell out, we have to go across the street, and we don't want to do that, or they will raise the price as a premium for us, and we don't want to do that either. We've guaranteed a certain number of rooms, and we're getting close to filling that guaranteed block. So we have 3 rooms left. So make sure if you're wanting to come watch, if you're thinking about competing, or if you are a vendor and you're going to be staying with us over the weekend, make sure and get your room booked on that. I get a master list every week as far as who is booked and how many have booked. So I know how to gauge, okay, let's open up another block of 30 or 15 rooms or 40 rooms, because I guarantee those rooms and I want to make sure that they're guaranteed for the event. So no one or no other event takes those rooms from us or raises the price of those rooms. So I have to fill out a new contract, extend it to more rooms, and be able to guarantee the lower price for you so we don't have that problem. Cool, cool. Also on tanning, the tanning link is up, or the tanning number and the information is up. So please go make sure that you reserve your tanning spot with Sunkissed Tan. They use Pro-Tan products, some of the best out there. We also have Jolinda Glam, who will be getting makeup services ready to rock and roll. So as we go through, I am going to give you one other thing, which I had a note for. Most of you already know about the Storm Classic Show website, which is great. And I can see how many visitors. I will tell you that also on the registration for Fit Squid, I know that we have 6 incomplete registrations, and this is what happens. If you are trying to register on your phone, you're going to get stuck at the payment option link. And the reason why is they usually don't like it when you're trying to register on a mobile device for security purposes when you're doing payments. So I would recommend going to your computer or a laptop or something hardlined to when you do your payment, it is a secured payment. Cool. So that's what I wanted to make sure I got out there. And we have someone in the waiting room right now. So I just wanted to get all these out so that way we can get going. Anyway, all that being said, I'm very excited. I do want to give a quick shout out to, and I know some of you are watching, Isaac Johnson with the Dallas Showdown. That gentleman is a very impressive promoter. He did a great job getting his word out for the show. I know Larry Shaw is doing big things with NFF and expanding and moving into the west side of the United States and doing incredible things. I got to tell you, he's doing it right, and very excited to see his show next weekend. I think it's the 4th of June, and I know that there's going to be a lot of competitors really wanting to jockey for top spot in that show. I know that he has over 100 people ready to rock and roll and hit the stage, and this is what they've been waiting for. I know that also the Branch Warren is coming up on June 25th. We have a lot of shows on June 25th across Texas. So what we will be doing before we bring our guest on is we will be getting a chance to do a posing clinic coming up. Many of you have asked me, hey, what's the stage walk? I see it on the website and I see, where to go and how to do quarter turns for everything. And, I'll have an expediter there ready to help. Yes, we will have that. We also want to do posing clinics with some of the different posing coaches around the city, around the state. We'll be announcing that as it gets closer. We will be looking probably somewhere on a weekend in July to do that. We were originally looking, and I'll tell you the location a little bit later too. Looks like we locked in the location. As we get closer to July, what we'll do is we'll find a date that doesn't have a show somewhere in Texas where it's just really taking away from the show. That's the last thing that we want to do. And with that many shows going on a weekend, we want to be able to, number one, have great attendance, amazing quality, perfect coaching. So that way, when you do hit the stage, you're confident. Now, let me address the new competitors. For those of you who are new, for those of you who have never done this before, and you want to, you're going to be in good hands. We will have anything that you can ask virtually. We'll be having some virtual sessions on StreamYard or on Zoom where it's like ask a posing coach. You don't know a posing coach. Who should you go with? We're going to give you a list of them, and you can basically be referred to interview them and say, I'm looking to do men's physique, or I'm looking to do women's physique. Yes, that's like women's bodybuilding essentially. Or I'm looking to do wellness or figure. If that's the case, you probably want to go to a posing coach who knows how to do those quarter turns. and you have that stage presence. They also probably want to know the criteria. So if your posing coach is the same as your training coach, well, that's easy. But if you have a training coach and a different posing coach and your coach doesn't do posing, we want to make sure that they're working together in cooperation to have you have a team to bring you in at your best. I think that's pretty common. So we want to be able to do that. So as we're about to get to this, I want to talk about this new category. This new category, we were throwing around kids fitness, and that's coming along well. The singles are taking off. We know that we're going to have a good number for kids fitness singles. We talked about kids fitness doubles. And I think it's going to either be a later registration or we might just cut it all together if we don't get too many registrations on that. I know that there's been talk about it. And for time purposes, if everything continues to fill up as it does, we don't want to overextend the number of athletes or the number of performances. So what we will do is we do have those fluid areas to where if let's just say one of those divisions did not make, it's easy to replace it with another. So here is the great news. The great news is we are having a new category called Family Fitness Doubles. And let me tell you the genesis of where this came from. If you'll remember the very first Storm Classic, for those of you who were with us in 2019 at the Booker T Arena, Kevin Davis and Blaze Davis did a routine on stage that blew everybody away. Me, I personally have never seen anything like that. And for those of you who have families or kids, you know that that was one of those sentimental, magical moments that could never be recreated between the two of those gentlemen. And that's something that they did that they will never forget. It really kind of put a stamp on the show to say, wow, this is not only entertaining and competitive, but it's worth investing our time in because the next generation of bodybuilders is on the way up. And we want to set an example for those folks, those kids who want to do it the right way and do it healthy. They don't just do a 5-week prep and jump in and try and crash diet. No, general health and wellness is an example of what they see with people who do it right. So as they were going through the routine, as you know, Blaze, and I know that I've talked to Kevin about this, so it was okay for me to talk about. Blaze is a gymnast. He is an incredibly talented gymnast. He also races BMX across the country. Kevin is one of a pro athlete that he earned his pro card on our stage in 2019 and has gone on to place very well in his pro contests. So as we were going through this, Everett ended up seeing this. And the next year, he was like, I want to do something with my daughter. Can I do that? And I'm like, maybe we're onto something here. And so Everett and TT got a chance to do their routine on stage in 2020. 2021 rolled around. There were requests, but I didn't really know how to accommodate those requests because we really didn't officially have a category for that. And I wanted to be able to create that space to where we could really get some traction. And not only did I have one or two requests, but I had multiple requests for people asking to do that. And so I said, what can we do? I got a call this last week, and this was a gentleman who really was passionate and, is like, look, I'll bring a ton of athletes. I'm like, it's not about what you bring. It's about just how we can fit it into the schedule and how it can flow correctly and together with the show. We want to protect not only the brand, but we also want to give the opportunity. If someone does have a request, if we can accommodate it, we will do our very best to do. And after that conversation, it took about 45 minutes to be able to do this. And I do want to bring Everett on. Everett, I have to say that we were talking about you and the way that this conversation went down last week. TT, how are you? And I just got to welcome you guys. So I know that you guys were racing back from League City to get back to Galveston and hit the gym. For those of you who don't know Everett, this is a gentleman who at one time in his life weighed 408 pounds and finally decided to make a lifestyle change and get into a place to where he would become a professional or an amateur bodybuilder, get on stage and show the world that nothing is out of his grasp. So, Everett, I'm going to start with you, and then TT, I'd like for you to chime in on this as well. Everett, what have you learned through your journey? You are now a gym owner, you're a personal trainer, you're a competitor. What inspired you to really make that decision and flip the switch in your head and finally say, I'm going after something? Don't you dare tell me you froze up on me.
Pretty much, it was the Galveston community. I was hearing a lot of what needs to be changed, wise, and I heard a lot of opinions. I've seen a lot of stuff, and then with the lifestyle of my change, it worked.
I think you
It's
froze
working
up
right
on me.
now.
Can you hear me okay? Give me a
We're
thumbs
getting
up
there.
if you can hear me.
So it's just pretty much, and this is totally opinion based. You know, a lot of people about this industry is in it just for making money, and that's the part. That's
What we're going to do is we're going to find out. Hopefully you can hear everything that I'm saying, because the freeze up is sometimes real. So just to give a little bit of context, what's great about it is the family fitness category is going to be, number one, a parent or someone who is, they want to jump in as a competitor, and they have someone who might be their daughter, their nephew, their niece, their son, and they want to do a 60-second choreographed routine together. What's great about that is you will be able to compete with other sons and daughters and mothers and fathers combination. There's doubles, so there's two people. There's an adult, and then there's a child, and there is no age restriction. It can be anything 17 and under, and you guys can do it. You know, there was a gentleman that I met very long ago, and he is an incredibly successful individual, Larry Hagner. He just did a show where he did classic, and his son did physique. And it was a moment that they shared, and that's what kind of sparked this idea. And then Everett ended up being one of those guys who really made this happen. So 60-second routine. It's going to be for fun, of course. It's going to be for really being able to bond with the person that you have practiced with. It can be a freestyle routine. It can be anything. We know that we have some martial artists who have daughters, and they've asked, hey, could I do a routine, with my daughter? And I said, you know what? If you want to do something like that and practice it and choreograph it, let's do it. Registration is up. Registration is live on FitSquid. You can register yourself and your other person to be able to do that. So we will definitely get a chance to do that. Let's try adding Mr. Everett again. How can you hear me now, Everett? Are you good?
yeah. We moved closer to the Wi-Fi.
Cool. So I don't know if you heard my question, but I'll just re-ask. What really was your decision when you decided to go from 408 pounds to the stage? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So pretty much, as y'all know, it was 408 pounds, and just lazy. I worked at a gym, but I was just going through some stuff pretty much in life. So I didn't want to basically boil it down. I didn't want to lose my family. So I'm married and I have three girls. Three. There's one of them
Yeah.
right here.
So let me ask you this, TT,
So
why was this important for you to do your first show a couple of years ago? How fun was it, and why do you want to do it again? I'm just curious.
Well, it was fun because I got to spend time with my dad and kind of get a little bit spotlight. No offense. And I want to do it again because I want to inspire more children to get out of their comfort zone. And because it's summer, they're probably going to be lazy playing video games, Fortnite. Have them come to the gym and do something active.
I have to say Fortnite is my son's favorite game. And when you said that, to be able to inspire other kids, to be able to show you what is possible. So, what does it look like for you? Because we are 5 months out in 2 days right now. What is your routine from here until October 29th? What are some of the things that you're doing to prepare?
Well, what we'll do to prepare is eat healthy, work out, do cardio, 30 minutes to an hour. Then I'll work out with my dad. Then after, we'll probably come back and do more cardio.
We're gonna lift some weights. I don't know.
And lift weights.
All right. So, cardio and lifting weights seem to be the key, along with healthy eating. I like that. Let me ask you this. With your other kids, Everett, how does that play a role into kind of the example that you set for them? I mean, what is your main driving force in wanting to get better every day? I'm kind of curious as far as how your family motivates you to stay sustained and also to stay consistent.
Well, it's just pretty much. I would like to put my kids in a better place. You know, I grew up. I'll get you guys in a minute. Go ahead and work out. Uh, I grew up pretty good, great family. My mom was a school teacher. My dad was a cop. But you know, we taught to do better. So whatever that my parents did for me, I have to do it 10 times better for my kids. And honestly, I just don't want them wanting for nothing. Just to be straight up, I work 8 days a week, and I'm okay with that. It's hard work. It's strenuous sometimes. Me and my wife, we butted heads a couple of times, but like I said, it's worth it. And a lot of people, you know, they try to say, "Oh, this is too much work. This is too much work," but they want this and want that, but they don't want to work for it. So that's what I don't get. And then with this being said, the gym is really not work for me. It's a passion. So I come to the gym. I go to work happy. How about that? I don't go to work like what I gotta do. I'm a good shot. Yeah, go work out. Go do some push-ups. Oh, y'all sore from the other day? Don't give me money. I'm supposed to be broke.
I love
Y'all
it
didn't
in
see
real
that.
life.
So
Yeah.
with that being said, it's just I don't want my family wanting for nothing. Period.
Yeah.
So if we need to go get it, we can get it. But I want to also show them hard work.
I like that. I like that. You know, Everett, you have shown the hard work. I know that in the Blanche Warren, the Texas Legends, you took first in bodybuilding. Sammy
Pretty
Joe from
much,
Florida is
like I
joining us
said,
with
just to
Subculture Live.
plan.
She runs one of the best podcasts around. We've had a couple of conversations, and I have to say, I completely respect what she does, and also, Everett, what you're doing. You know, I know you have an army of people that are going to be going to shows this year and competing, and you know, all across Texas and all across the country. It seems like as you've really developed a great culture. And you know, you basically are the guy on now Galveston Island, and you know that's kind of your hometown. So it's kind of nice to be able to show off and showcase not only your family and your skills, but also being able to be an influence and an inspiration. I got to say that that you guys have done that. So for those of you joining us, Everett Joe Levette, the Takeover Gym, you can follow him on YouTube on the Takeover Gym, as well as on Instagram, Everett Joe Levette, which you'll see on the banner down there, EVERETT JOLIVET. And if I'm pixelated, I apologize, but now you guys are good. What would you say you're most excited about as far as doing this routine? Is it mainly for winning? Is it mainly for that moment where you can share with your family? What would that moment, why is it important to you? And then I'll let you off the hook with all the other questions.
It's mainly for my family, but it's also to inspire people who think they can't do it, but they can if they put the hard work in. I hear that a lot. You know, TC, I want to lose weight. I want to come train with you, but I don't think I can do it. That's the most important thing about this gym. We want it to be an everybody gym. So we want everybody to come in here and work. And the people who think they can't do it, we want to influence them to show them they can do it with discipline and consistency. So that's pretty much the motto of the gym. So, and the motto of this show. Because a lot of people think they can't do it, but we're going to prove it, right? Because we was fat, so we understand. So we still look chunky. We're working on it, though.
Well, I have to say, you're going to find Everett in a very light green and orange truck. You'll know it's him. And I know the Takeover Gym is something that you need to visit if you're down in Galveston. I just want to thank you for being here because our family fitness category doubles is now officially kicked off. Our registration is live and open. And if you want to have this kind of moment, you know, if you've never competed before, if you've got kids who are interested but too scared to do it by themselves, which is one of my kids, I'm not getting on stage and doing it with them, but they've all competed in kids fitness, and hopefully, you know, we are able to make those magical moments come to life. And I can't wait to come down and visit you next week. I've got some posters and flyers for you. And I know that we'll probably have a posing clinic or two down there if you're okay with that. Thumbs up if you're okay with that. The posing clinic here, probably maybe in August. You okay with having a posing clinic down there? Cool. And by the way, my connection is always good when it's like this time of day, so we might have to do it again. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, Everett, please make sure that you do tap in with him and also follow him on Instagram. Take a look at some of his videos on his gym. They have the best kept secret down in Galveston. You'll be seeing their 60-second routine, and it will not be their debut. It will be their defending routine. So they took the title back in 2020 and can't wait to see you guys here soon. So guys, this is going to do it. I appreciate you guys tuning in for the big announcement and the big day. Now we know what we're doing, and very excited that Everett did bring this to life, as we've had many conversations about it. He is the reason why this is now in effect, live, and also being realized at the show for the Storm Classic 2022. So for those of you who want more information, want to register, stormclassicshow.com. You can look at it on Instagram, Storm Classic Show, as we do have a little bit of merchandise going out here soon. We also have different gyms that we're going to be visiting. We will update our posing clinic when we get closer on the date, and can't wait to see you there. So until then, Everett, TT, thank you so much. We'll talk to y'all soon.